Hi, I'm Lindsay Gilbert, and I am a lesbian.
I'm Melanie, and I'm bisexual.
I'm Kelsey, and I'm straight.
My name is Anna, and I'm pansexual.
My name is Amanda, and I'm straight.
Hi, I'm Michael Cunningham, and I would say I'm gay.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm an asexual.
My name is Kenny, and I'm as fruity as a nut basket.
Hi, I'm Sarah Peter Hansen, and I identify as a lesbian.
When I was in the 3rd grade,
there are more than 9 million citizens in the U.S. who classify themselves as lesbian, gay, or bisexual. This is about 3.5% of the population. Of the men in this community, 2.2% identify as gay and approximately 1.4% as bisexual. As for women, 1.1% identify as lesbian and an additional 2.2% as bisexual. According to a survey conducted in April 2011, approximately 3.8% of American adults identify themselves as being the LGBT community.
So what was your experience first coming out to everybody and your friends and your family?
Well, nothing really happened, honestly.
I couldn't point to a time. I mean, I've always kind of known. Like, I just, my mother says that, you're always different. That's how she describes it. And I think I've always felt like that, like I was never quite in line with what people expected.
So my experience coming out was basically my girlfriend at the time wanted to come to homecoming with me here. And so I'm like, okay, that's cool. And her mom decided she wouldn't let her go unless I told my mom that I was gay.
I mean, my mom didn't believe me for like the first 6 months. And other than that, it was pretty uneventful, I guess. I don't know. Everybody around me was pretty accepting of it.
I came out in the middle of my senior year.
And do you feel like they accept you?
Yeah, I haven't really had any negative,
Like, everybody in my life knows. I do not keep it a secret. I told my mom, like my family, my friends, like everybody is very, very, very supportive of me. They don't see me as anything different.
So I had this ultimatum, and I ended up having to tell my mom on my birthday that I was gay, and she tried to come and pick me up from school because she wanted to talk about it.
I ended up in a relationship with a girl. It just kind of happened, and when I was with her, everyone kind of figured out that, I wasn't straight because it was a girl.
When I came out to my mom, she was I came out to her via text message. So like as soon as she got that, she wanted to call up my dad and tell him because she was like in total shock, like she had no idea.
My university did have a counseling center, so I went there, and the head of the counseling center was, he was gay. And he ended up subsequently dying. This is 1985, so the AIDS epidemic was raging then, and he died of AIDS shortly thereafter. But that was actually who I told the first time I actually said the words, I think I'm gay, and it was the day before I turned 21, actually. And I look at that day, I guess, if you wanted a date, it was the day before, August 1st, 85, excuse me.
I'm not personally friends with any of them, but I do know of a couple people in the school who are. I don't judge them based on that. Like, a lot of them are really nice people, and like, unless they told me, I would never know, so.
Many stereotypes against a person's sexual orientation stem from media. TV shows, music, social media, movies, news, and celebrities all play a role in influencing the views on homosexuality.
Do you believe in the stereotype that every homosexual man will hit on any straight man they see?
No, not at all. I mean, not gonna lie, like there are guys that walk by and I'm like, yo, you're really attractive, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go up to him and be like, let me touch you.
Yeah.
Or, like, let me kiss you or something. Like, no. We're humans, we know our boundaries. For the most part, most people know their boundaries. I have tons of guy friends that are straight. Like, I'm in a fraternity, I have to have tons of guy friends. All of my fraternity brothers, like, none of them care. They know that I'm not going to cross boundaries with them. So I don't think that stereotype can really be even used because, I'm an example right now. Like, I have tons of guy friends that know, like, I'm not going to hit on them, I'm not going to do stuff that's weird, I'm not going to cross lines. I don't even believe in that stereotype, really.
I have not heard that, gay men are pedophiles.
I don't think your sexuality really determines whether or not you're a pedophile.
I have heard like other things, like all men, like all gay men have AIDS or like that kind of stuff, but to say that is almost like saying, you know, all black people steal or like all Asians are good at math, because that's just not true. It's just kind of something people made up because they don't know how else to treat it.
Homosexuality is a widely discussed, controversial topic in the United States. As a result of this topic being so controversial, there is a large amount of legal decisions associated with the manner in which homosexuals are treated as opposed to a citizen that is heterosexual. Some of these legal decisions involve marriage, marital rights, adoption, insurance, the military, and voting.
I don't necessarily believe in it that it's, correct. I mean, I'm a Christian, and the Bible says that man and woman are the only things that should be married, so that's what I follow.
Where 70% of Americans thought it was wrong and 30% thought it was right. It even felt like it was pretty much the entire country was against who you are.
I do think gay marriage should be legal because it's a basic civil right in the United States. Like, it seems kind of odd that, everyone but this group can get married because of what they are. Like, this was an issue, a good 50, 60 years ago with interracial marriages, and it kind of parallels really well with, the gay movement. And it's just kind of odd to, like, we're progressing in one area but not in the other.
I feel that everybody should have the opportunity to get married if they want to be married, because it's advantageous to be married to somebody in this society, so I think that everybody should have the opportunity to have those advantages.
How do you feel about people that disagree with it?
That's their opinion, obviously, but they shouldn't try to enforce that opinion on people around them, so they would raise their kids in a more open-minded environment. But other than that, I don't see why it would be different,
Okay, so some opportunities that I've lost due to my sexuality is, certain places, this is kind of like a dumb example, but like Chick-fil-A, if you're out, they won't hire you. There are only a few places who say they do it outright, but it's completely illegal right now, so really any store or place that would employ you can say they won't because of your sexuality.
My family was among the founding families of the state of Kentucky, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, thank you very much. And my dad was born and raised there, and our headquarters are in Lexington for the fraternity that I was in. And the Sons of the American Revolution is headquartered in Louisville, and I'm eligible for that as well. All of those things in the back of my mind, I have to suppress this whole side of myself, and when I go into like a gathering, you have to almost be a chameleon, meaning you have to or you do lose chances. So depending on, you always kind of end up gauging where you are to figure out the person you need to be in order to succeed. That sounds really harsh, but it just, people that are in certain situations, you learn, or when you grew up at the time that I did, you really had to learn how to play act and kind of engage the lay of the land in order to survive. It was a survival thing.
When I was in 7th grade, before that I realized that I was gay, people would bully me for it. They'd just be like, oh my god, you're gay, and then it was like, no, I'm not, but then I was.
I had the opportunity to kind of team up with Miss Lamb and create the first Gay Straight Alliance at North, which was super cool. We got to go down to Fairness last year and rally to bring a fairness ordinance to Kentucky, because there's already one in Louisville and we don't have one here in Oldham County, which really, really sucks.
I can't really see my girlfriend that much, so that's kind of an opportunity I've lost because of restrictions brought down by my father. But I've had opportunities to feel more involved in gay politics before. I realized that I was gay. I just kind of felt I can go home and leave this at home, but now this is so personal to me. I've gotten really, really involved in gay rights activism, and I don't think in the future it's gonna definitely affect my life, since Kentucky's laws aren't aligned with how they should be, job restrictions and housing costs and all this stuff. Gay people can't live where they want or work where they want because of the owners, and it's kind of ridiculous, and I'm not looking forward to it, so I'm probably gonna move.
You plan on adopting, maybe, if you plan to marry a man?
I mean, I've thought about it before. Like, yeah, I want kids. Not necessarily like children that much, but I still want them when I grow up. So yeah, possibly. Yeah, I could see myself adopting a couple kids when I get older.
Like all around you, and watching people dying left and right of it. And I lived in the heart of the epidemic in the worst places you could possibly be. People don't talk about it, they don't see it, it doesn't come up very much. But at the time, you would be tested every 6 months, and it was a death sentence. It was like Russian roulette. You never knew if your time was up. And people, I mean, I saw people dying. I knew people that would die, and they'd test positive, and I'd have to pretend that they had told me it's like somebody telling you they have pancreatic cancer. These are horrible deaths. I mean, it's horrible. You can't imagine what they were like. Like, we don't want them traveling here. We don't want this. We don't want that. There's this hysteria.
The American government completely ignored the AIDS epidemic in the 1980s. And when asked about it, does the president have any reaction to the announcement, the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, that AIDS is now an epidemic and have over 600 cases? The spokesperson for the president responded with, "What's AIDS?"
Trying to pray the gay away and trying to like rehabilitate people from like the gay illness is such a magnificent waste of time.
I know people that were actually put into institutions. They were throwing these people into like loony bins, and they were in straitjackets, and they were being fed syrup of Ipecac and showed pictures of men in order to make them vomit into buckets, and they were given electroshock therapy, and they were given they would try anything they could, and people would say anything they could just to get out of that hell.
Therapy is a no-no, and that should definitely be illegal because you can't change someone's sexual orientation, just like you can't make a straight person gay.
Can't. Yeah, like, who they are is who they are. Like, that's just who a person is through the experience, the lifehood, their personality, and the experiences they go through. That's just who they are. So it's just like, if you put them through therapy thinking, like, trying to persuade them otherwise, it doesn't really change the fact that they're there for a reason too. So in my opinion, therapy doesn't really change a person's sexuality.
No, because I mean, it's always been a thing. Like, it's been in existence since, humans have been in existence. It's just abnormal to us now because our society is just now acknowledging it. It takes a while for people to get used to things they haven't really realized yet, and that's just where we are right now.
Speaking from my own experience, those people that I know that have, there's this called reparative therapy or ex-gay therapy, and there are people that, actually I can't remember the guy's name who ran it, but he backtracked on it about 2 or 3 years ago, and they closed one of the biggest centers, and there was an apology from him for acknowledgement of all the psychological damage that's done. I don't know that I'll ever convince anyone that believes that works, of how harmful it is, because somebody can play act a role and do whatever else someone else wants to do, and they can do it their entire lives, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy, or that it's not psychologically harmful. So, as far as it actually changing somebody's orientation, no.
Being against it tends to be a learned behavior. It's kind of like, again, with racism and sexism, like, it depends on how you're brought up and the people you're around and, what sort of media you're exposed to. And since it's learned, it can be unlearned. So eventually, like racism and sexism, it will start to deplete.
I think it depends on the person. I know of many people who have had their minds changed on the subject, so I guess it depends on the person how much they believe in what they are.
I know that people will be judgmental. It's against people's religions, it's against people's morals, but it's not a big deal to me because I do what I think is right. I mean, it's hard to tell people that they're wrong, that their morals are wrong and stuff, so I'm not gonna tell anybody that they're wrong for thinking that I'm wrong, I guess. I do what I think is right. and I think that I am not wrong, I guess.
A derogatory stereotype in society claims that all homosexual acts are unnatural, disregarding the immense amount of evidence against this. We've observed a wide variety of species that exhibit this behavior: monkeys, lions, giraffes, rams, penguins, as well as recorded history of different cultures exhibiting the same behavior.
The church wasn't welcoming whatsoever. Like, there's no place for me here. There isn't. I mean, I could walk around and just pretend. I could walk a lie. But I really felt betrayed because that had been my refuge my entire life, and so it was like having a parent turn on you and throw you out. I mean, that was my spiritual core, and my first 25 years were all about church. And after that, I spent the next probably 15 years wanting nothing to do with Christianity or church and fleeing to the safe places like big cities and things like that.
America has shown legal discrimination to homosexual citizens in various ways involving our government, one of which takes place in the military, when a man was discharged from his position as a Marine because of his sexuality in 1956. Another clear legal example of homosexual oppression was in 1993, when the very first court case of same-sex marriage was held in Hawaii's Supreme Court. Although it was the first step taken to gain homosexual marital rights, the couple was still denied their freedom as a result. Even though substantial progress has been made in the acceptance of homosexuality, there is still a current discrimination when involving America's legal system.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard.
You're in high school, and you're making this video, I think, just to kind of explore what the issues are. I'm giving you my perspective as somebody who lived through a different time. I've also lived long enough to see how society's changed its views towards us. We're not there yet, and there are a lot of people that are suffering. There are a lot of kids that, commit suicide, but there's a lot of hope that was never there before. So I think that if kids just knew how much the dialogue has changed, how different it is now, I mean, there's a tremendous amount of hope that I don't think was there before, and I take heart in that. So people are a little bit more. It may not be that there are more gay people, it may just be that they're not terrified, for their lives as I once was. And there's a lot of hope in that. I mean, there's a lot of empowerment, I think.
Oh nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know. And God loves all his children. It's somehow forgotten, but we paraphrase a book written 3,500 years ago. I don't know.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
If I was gay, I would think hip-hop hates me. Have you read the YouTube comments lately? Man, that's gay, gets dropped on the daily. We become so numb to what we're saying. A culture founded from oppression. Yeah, we don't have acceptance for them. Call each other faggots behind the keys of a message board. A word rooted in hate, yet our genre still ignores it. Gay is synonymous with the lesser. It's the same hate that's caused wars from religion, gender to skin color, the complexion of your pigment. The same fight that led people to walkouts and sit-ins. It's human rights for everybody. There is